On the stream again. Living life on the stream again.
That doesn't match the Metallica shirt you have on.
Well, you know, they did some Bob Seger covers and whatnot, so maybe, you know.
We don't want people to turn the page.
Look at good night, everybody. See you later.
This is as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah, it really is. It's all
downhill from here.
Yeah. Oh, the stream again. Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, a little bit.
You get Cookie Monster giving us some metal and
Cookie Monster metal.
It's a thing. I'm all right with the thing. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
I have noticed that metalheads do take offense when you say, "Oh, it's Cookie Monster metal." Oh, they do not like that.
Oh no, they don't. No, but if you say it, you know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know what that. Yeah.
I can't imagine doing that. You know, like for a living, all the time. Going even if you don't have to amplify that much on the microphone. It's just
no. On the bright side, you don't have to actually have lyrics or enunciate anything. So
that is also true. Where were you like 20 years ago when I'm like, I don't know if I really want to go into broadcasting. I want to use this voice. Where were you to help give me some suggestions back then?
I was like 3 years too late.
Hello, sir.
Hey.
Thank you to everybody who will be tuning in. Maybe you're catching us in progress. Maybe you're catching us on demand. Either way, leave your comments and questions and everything. And maybe we'll get back to you afterwards. If you're watching live, thank you for doing so. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We got some predictions to get to because as crazy as this is, it doesn't feel like it to me. It's WrestleMania season.
Right? Yeah. And like we were trying to put our off here, we were trying to put together our schedule and I'm going, oh yeah, like we're doing this show now because Stand and Deliver is, here. And then there's a little gap and then it doesn't feel like it's a week away, 2 weeks away.
It doesn't. And what's kind of funny is, and I know you love when I bring it up, Table Talk and Devon Dudley. He's watching the show again after just disconnecting for a couple of months as he battled with health issues. So he's watching the shows again, trying to get reacquainted with everything going on. And I'm like, what'd you think about Raw this week? Oh, it was all right. And I'm like, it was horrible. I'm like, it was so rough. It was so bad. And he's like, I didn't think it was that bad. I'm like, really?
He has to say that, though.
Yeah, but this wasn't on the air. This was off the air. He could have been honest with me.
No, I feel like he would still lie to you. Like he would still put up a front.
I don't know. He's pretty brutally honest about anything. And I know way too much about him at this point due to stuff off the air. So I don't know, but I think it's kind of funny how
did you feel about the Hurt Business?
Kyle, what's up, dog? He's getting ready for your wrestling show with RVD in Steve's Point, Wisconsin.
In Steve's Point.
So it's going to be RVD's Point, Wisconsin, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because he point. If you don't have a guy there named Steve that RVD is going to point at like that, you've done something wrong with your show, sir.
I thought Rob was pretty great. April Fools. And that it is the April Fool's edition. So
it is. It's true.
I thought about trying to put together pranks, but this week's kicked my ass. I'm like,
I thought you advertised the show very well. the sit and underperform episode.
Well, we're sitting and the underperforming is naturally going to happen.
We're going to underperform, yeah.
Yeah. Casimir here. Wait until the go home special WrestleMania Monday night, Friday night shows. Yeah, they'll be talky. There's not going to be a lot of wrestling. These shows are always, again, a lot of promos, a lot of everything. But I think they'll be more focused next week. I think they'll definitely have a direction. But this week, at least Raw, didn't seem to have a lot going on. And arguably even NXT didn't really have a full focus. They're like, hey, that other show, they're doing some crazy things tonight. But look, we have women's wrestling.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
We have a lot of it.
We have a lot of women's wrestling. Did Devon happen to say to you what he felt about the Hurt Business?
He did not. I asked him the question, and I think he was about to answer, and then I think that's when a Rhino clicked on. So we got distracted. I didn't remember to get back to it. So I would be curious his thoughts on that, because I know, we've had all of the Hurt Business on the show, and I know he loves these guys dearly. So I don't know. I'm concerned at this point. I'm concerned for Cedric and Shelton.
And that's what I was going to say. I think that aspect of the show is the most polarizing thing that happened. Is you either love the fact that it's really just Bobby Lashley and MVP, or you're like, what the F happened? But we all agree that it's fantastic that Baron Corbin is not in the Hurt Business.
You were worried. I
was very concerned. Very, very concerned. I was like, all right.
You have a great Easter as well, sir.
Man, but yeah, no, I'm very concerned for Shelton and Cedric. They're not going to. I'm almost more concerned for Shelton, because I feel like as much of a workhorse he is, he's still in that twilight of his,
right,
not in the prime of his career. Even if he can still go like a machine. Like, I still feel like they're going to be like, do we need Shelton?
They just put him in tag teams, and so he needs somebody around him. I mean, he did with Chad Gable.
Mm-hmm.
He's now worked with, of course, Cedric, and Cedric, away from 205 Live, was struggling as well on the main roster before the Hurt Business. Or, I mean, maybe you could argue him and Ricochet did all right, but
they did okay, but then they never pushed them to anything.
Right.
So it was like, all right.
So I am nervous for both of them. Maybe it's just a big swerve that they help Lashley out, or they do it to show that they're team players, but as long as Corbin's not in, we're good.
Yeah.
As long as Corbin's not in, we're good. Before we get to that, all right, so there's this one. Does Hurt Business stay two guys, or do they capitalize on the MVP tweet when they say me and Bobby decide who is in the Hurt Business?
Yes, I would say that they add people. I do think at some point they add someone. I wouldn't be surprised if they add a woman at some point.
That makes a lot of sense. Hey, Felicia, I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I don't know if you're talking to me or Felicia, but
both. You got your beer, so I know you're doing all right.
I'm doing okay. I'm good.
What kind is that? Go ahead and give us an endorsement.
It's a cider. It's an apple orange cider.
Oh, if anybody brews that and wants to advertise on the show, we'll promise to get Ballz drunk for you.
Yeah.
We don't get drunk. You get Ballz drunk.
Ballz drunk. And then I try to name action figure crotches. It's a whole segment we'll do.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Drunkenly guess the groin.
Yeah. Drunken guess the groin.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, absolutely. So I could see Keith Lee possibly being added. Or if they really want to switch things up, I could see Ricochet. Yeah,
I could see that.
If they're going to add, I actually thought about replying to the tweet and applying. I'll be like, I'll be your hype man. I'll be like your ring announcer or something. But I'm like, shit, I have to dress up for that job.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't really like dressing up. I like my Metallica shirts. So.
No, I get it.
They'd be like, what are your qualifications? I'm like, not dressing. Being pantless. I'll be the pantless member of the Hurt Business.
I could see Mia Yim being especially if they put Keith Lee in it.
Mm-hmm.
You acknowledge Retribution's done, and you bring in like Mia Yim. I think that would be awesome.
I forgot the last time I saw Ballz drunk.
It's been a while.
We can change that today, my friend.
With the right amount of sponsorship dollars.
Look at you playing the game. Look at that. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. I'm trying to think off the top of my head a second version of a stable that was just as good, if not better than the first.
Ooh.
I mean, NWO, you could argue as they expanded past the original three, but then they blew up too much.
Yeah. I was going to say, there are definite ones you can argue. Like, you could argue DX.
Okay. I'll give you that. Yeah, once you added the Road Dogg.
And Road Dogg and Billy Gunn joined. Like, you could add that group. I don't know my history well enough, and I will probably get yelled at. I don't know the iterations of the Four Horsemen. Like, Was
even
the second...
then, I still think the original is the best one.
Whoa! Oh yeah. I definitely don't think like there might be ones that are equal, but I definitely don't think anything outshined the original. And you're not going to have anything outshine the original Hurt Business either.
And that's what I'm thinking is like, unless you go a really fun direction, like you said, DX is a good example.
Yeah.
You could argue NWO. Obviously, Core was so much better than Nexus.
Oh, the new Nexus was so great.
I mean, we like to see CM Punk anyway.
Yeah, that part of it was fine.
The Ministry of Darkness to the Corporate Ministry.
It was interesting. I don't know if it was better, but it was definitely interesting. The second Wyatt family, when you threw Braun in there, I don't know if that's any better or not.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. So, I mean, the Hurt Business, I don't mind the idea of them re-adding some members, but I think if you wanted it to be successful, you keep it just to 2 of them.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Hopefully they got some plans. Maybe they just, they all hang out again next week and don't even acknowledge it.
That would be awesome.
They don't even acknowledge the breakup at all. AEW, before we actually get back to NXT, because we have a lot of stand and deliver crap to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
I want to bring this up real quick.
All faction wrestling.
AF dub. Like, that's my first reaction. I did not watch AEW live this week. Dynamite Dynasty. AEW Dynasty this week. Who shot JR? Storyline there.
Was
I didn't watch it live, so I read the results and then I watched some highlights afterwards. My first thought was, God damn, they have too many factions.
Now Best Friends is whole again. Plus, he kind of added Chris Statlander. So
the alien sits with us.
Yeah, the alien sits with us now. So, and then you have the not ready for Dynamite players. Like, who breaks off the Rhodes Nightmare family to whoever the QT Marshall faction is going to be?
The cutie.
The Cutie Marshall.
That's what I'm going to call them, the cuties.
It's so the whole show is factions. Matt Hardy's faction, I feel, changes every week. Like Jack Evans was part of it, and now I haven't seen him in like 2 weeks. Yeah. And then like Butcher and the Blade just bounce factions constantly.
They do what they want.
They're faction hoppers. Yeah.
Everybody needs a hobby, I guess.
I guess.
Well, I was talking about this earlier with a friend, and that's my concern with AEW is that they're reaching that point where they want to get everybody on TV. They want everybody included. And that's why they have so many factions. And if all these factions are leading to faction warfare or gang wars or something, cool. But if not, then you have a lot of stars that are going to be expecting or hoping for more and never getting that opportunity.
No, that's true. I do feel that, like, you look at all these factions, or 2 of them are faces out of everything. And one of them is the Inner Circle, who just became a face like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
No, you're right. I've complained about that a few times. Yeah. Nathan says he's been complaining about it on Twitter for weeks. Every week you just add another new faction.
Yeah. No, that's what they do.
I mean, say you want the mix of new talent, young stars, underappreciated talent that other companies didn't use, and then of course established talent with Sting, Christian, Big Show. But then you get the underappreciated, like a Miro, like the former Rusev. He's at some point gonna grow frustrated that he's not doing more, and it seems like, obviously he'll turn on his friend, and eventually he'll.
I feel like that's happening. If it doesn't happen off, it's this week, or next week, I guess, on AEW.
But even then, though, that's like, is he going to be next in line for Omega or Moxley? I mean, you assume Moxley's probably going to take some time off because Renee's pregnant.
Yeah.
You assume Cody will probably take a little bit of time because Brandy's pregnant. Once the children, once the babies show up.
Once the babies.
But that's still doesn't open up a lot of spots.
It doesn't. Not really. I mean, I think this is why they're like, we have AEW Dark, AEW Dark Elevation, AEW Dark Elevation Double Dark.
AEW Dark Chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah. AEW Dark Night.
Dark with peanut butter. Like, You're just going to get so many shows that they just keep adding things to give people any time. And do those people, is that real time? Like, okay, you're on a YouTube show at 3 a.m. on a Wednesday.
And you could throw a Moxley on there here and there. You can throw these stars on here and there to make it seem like a big deal, but it's still just a YouTube show, and you're just getting paid better to be on that YouTube show compared to elsewhere. And you're not reaching the largest audience you can, which obviously you'd want it on the internet, and you'd want it on broadcast and wherever else you can get it, on the moon probably. But there's going to be frustration. You know, we always pick on Miro. We always pick on Rusev because we know he can do so much. We saw the popularity in WWE. But then what about a Brian Cage? Exactly. So you got two guys right there that want to then probably jump up. And you're probably lucky. MJF will probably be patient and he can take his time.
Yeah.
An Orange Cassidy probably could be patient, take their time. But then you start looking at some of these other stars where the clock is ticking a little bit. Are you gonna push Dustin Rhodes or not? I'm not saying you should necessarily, but you start thinking about him. You start thinking about Matt Sydal.
Yeah,
of course, the Christian, that came back.
You got, I mean, there's plenty there that.
Yeah,
there's only two. Not saying that every major storyline has to revolve a title, but there's only two major men's titles.
Right, but then it's also only a 2-hour show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you can do the other AEW things, but you're really expecting a lot from your audience to then watch it on TV and then have to go to the website.
To
see what's going on. If it's a choice, like an AEW talk segment or a podcast, if it's a choice, it's one thing, but to have to watch.
Yeah, to make it required viewing asks a lot of everyone.
Right. So, and expanding it to a 3-hour show on Wednesdays, I don't think is necessarily a good move either. So,
I mean, there's always the rumor that they are continuing to try to get a second show on broadcast television.
Sure. Yeah.
That'd be great. Fantastic. Until it actually happens, who knows?
Yeah. And obviously they want to grow an audience, and I'm going to be very curious to see how NXT does on Tuesdays and very curious to see how AEW does, because now AEW is not going to have an excuse.
Yep.
NXT they could always go back on this is still developmental. They can always go back to that. Right or wrong, they can go back to AEW doesn't have that safety net. They have to deliver. So they're going to need to see those numbers jump up. And of course, when you do see them jump up, you don't just stand and deliver. You don't just sit and underperform. You got to keep going, right? Which means more Shaquille O'Neals and more of these stars coming in, which again is more time away from these stars that want to do something.
Yep. No, absolutely.
When does AEW realize they have hired too many people?
A couple weeks ago.
I mean, I know Penta likes working with his brother, but Penta's been a world champion elsewhere. I mean, Phoenix has too, I guess, but you know.
No,
so you got those guys. Pac, he probably wants to move that card too. Like, that should be the goal. Obviously, everybody should want to move up at all times, but yeah, at least that's where WWE has the luxury of a Raw brand, a SmackDown brand. Of course, they still push the wrong people, but AEW, that's why they have so many factions, is they need to find a spot for all these people. Like, I saw the backstage thing with MJF hanging out with FTR, then you got the old timers there, you got his bodyguards. It's like, Jesus.
Well, yeah, that's what you have, the Pinnacle. They got busted in the inner circle dressing room, which I wondered the entire time why they had an empty Pepsi cooler. And I was like, and then once MJF went through the glass, I was, oh, that's why it was empty.
Yeah.
It's like, what kind of second-rate, half-assed dressing room is this with an empty drink freezer?
I'd be furious. I'm like, you fill this son of a bitch up.
Don't you realize who we are?
Or they were waiting for product because of that damn boat in the Suez Canal.
If we're getting our Pepsi from, like, there's so many problems if that's how Pepsi is getting delivered.
That's how theirs. They have special
high-end
Madagascar Pepsi.
made with real sugar.
Yeah, real cane sugar, straight from Madagascar, where the animals sing and dance. It's something else.
They do.
If anybody else wants to chime in on anything AEW, now's the time to do so. But I don't know. I see that I don't know. Maybe is it Sean Spears? Like, what is it? One of those guys that like, this wasn't for me, and like wants to leave then. And I don't know. That bubble's got to burst at some point. I'm just curious who the first one's going to be.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, buddy. You want to talk? Stand and deliver.
Do it. Stand and deliver. Coming.
Boom.
2-night event. NXT. Their biggest show of the year, obviously.
2 days now. That's pretty big.
First night, April 7th, available on USA Network. Second night, April 8th, available on the Peacock streaming service, which still is not available for my TV, so I have not downloaded it yet. So
that's fair. That's all right. And supposedly, they're both still available next week for NXT. Network and Peacock. Like I was reading that today, that they're both still available. I don't know about WrestleMania, but I don't know if there's still like transition issues going on, but
wouldn't be surprised.
Or maybe they're realizing, oh crap, we're making a lot of money, but a lot of our fans are furious right now.
A lot of our fans can't download it to their television.
They can't download it, but then also all the like they're taking their sweet ass time moving content over. A lot of the content they're moving over has been not really a lot, but notable disappearances of footage and promos, and
which is weird because like a lot of it was on broadcast television to begin with, so it's like
yes and no. I mean, that was on broadcast TV in a different era.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I hate seeing the DX spoof of the Nation be one of the items that you can't enjoy on demand, at least on Peacock.
Oh,
but I get it though. I mean, blackface is not something that you really put out there, and wrestling in the Attitude Era was purposely trying to push those lines, push the boundaries, and now they've gone PG.
Yes.
So they're not going to kick and scream and be like, no, you need to keep that. They're going to be like, okay, whatever you want.
Yeah, we get it. You paid an exorbitant amount of money for this.
And even then, I'm surprised they even still offered it on their service.
That's true. That's true.
Knowing how sensitive they've gotten over the years. So, but I get some of the items that they've eliminated. I know people are upset by it, but that's where we're at right now. It'll be back one day, maybe with a disclaimer if we're lucky.
That's true. I mean, that's how Disney Plus does it. It's like, hey, this.
I mean, it could be NBC is still feeling things out with Peacock and trying to figure out what they want to do. There's talk that they may remove some of their movies from other streaming services to put exclusively on Peacock. They're still shuffling, figuring things out. So maybe when this blows over, they'll be like, okay, we're going to keep it on there with an asterisk.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Night 1, NXT Stand and Deliver, or NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver.
And as Ballz tries to move on, a great comment here talking about selling some DVDs, wrestling DVDs, because they're unedited. The original broadcast, if you will. And people want the uncut stuff, and that's absolutely true.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
No.
You can do your predictions now.
I wish I had that type of stuff.
I still got some, but I don't know. Like I'll have to go. I mean, I got some stuff with Chris Benoit on it. WWF logos, the scratch logo that aren't blurred out.
Yeah.
I'll have to go through those, see if there's anything,
anything worthwhile.
Of value.
Pete Dunne versus Kushida.
That's gonna be a hell of a technical match. I don't think there's really much behind it, like no consequences, but
there really isn't any consequences. I mean, it makes me wonder if Kushida was who they had in mind when he made the initial, I'm the best technical wrestler out there.
I'm going to guess no.
I don't know who else it would have been, or, maybe they were trying to get someone special for it or something. I don't know. But the only thing is it removes these two guys from the NXT North American title tournament and all that stuff. So it kind of frees them up from not doing that stuff.
But this could be a good thing for Kushida moving forward, though, really allowing him to show against one of the best in the world when it comes to competing in that ring. So, I mean, it's going to help Dunn just because Dunn's good, but I think this has a chance to help Kushida get up to that next level.
No, absolutely.
In this company, that's the thing, is he's plateaued in WWE, and that happens a lot with Asian and Japanese wrestlers that I don't know if the Americans don't know how to use them properly. They don't connect, a language barrier, whatever the case may be. But this one will be a good one. I just wish there was something more to it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I agree with you. And Kushida this year he had plateaued, and then he kind of started to go up once he got more aggressive. And Pete Dunne is that guy you can be aggressive against. Right. So this has a chance to be a really good physical match.
I don't know if it's going to steal the show, unfortunately, because the other NXT's got so many technically sound stars that any one of these matches could steal the show. But the difference is those matches have the heat, or they have history behind them, or a championship on the line. This is just pride. Yeah. Which will still be great, but that's why this one won't steal the show.
And my only issue with it is, how do you call this? You know, Pete Dunne was like, I'm the best ever. In my heart, you're like,
in my heart of hearts.
In my heart, I would be like, all right, he needs to win this to prove it. Kushida needs this win, like to continue his upwards momentum. They both need the win. So I think I'm going to go with Kushida just because I think he needs it more. And Pete Dunne could always snap afterwards and injure or go after him or whatever.
Or he's a heel. So he bitches and moans or makes excuses or something like that. So I actually agree with you. I think Kushida wins this one. Pete Dunne will be fine recovering. He's in that sort of kind of stable right now. It's harder to find factions in NXT. All of them are going over to AEW, but he's fine. But Kushida, he doesn't have a support system in NXT around him. He doesn't have that, so he needs that win.
No, he absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Tag title match for the vacant NXT Tag Team Championships. MSK versus Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma.
Well, I'm glad that Legado got the sympathy inclusion. They'll be there. It'll be a great match again. The three teams are going to tear it down. I have no doubt about this. But since it's vacant, I think you give them MSK.
I think MSK are the ones who won the Dusty Cup. However, I think that's why Grizzled Young Veterans get it. I think Grizzled Young Veterans, Grizzled Young Veterans have placed second in the last two Dusty Cups. I feel like this is the thank you for helping us, solidify a tag division. This is, we need a good, strong team that we can count on. They cut good promos. Plus, when Danny Burch heals up and comes back, Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch against Grizzled Young Veterans can be a brutal, hard-hitting affair.
I do think Phantasma is there to take the fall.
I would agree with you.
And so the other team has an excuse like, okay, you won the match, but you didn't pin us.
Yeah, exactly. And that sets up your first thing. Yeah.
But I am very curious to see if WWE does have big plans, if NXT has big plans for MSK right out the gate, not just winning Dusty Cup, but with them being a tag champion so soon, because they put up a promotional shot on NXT this week of stars that are going to be a part of this NXT event. And there was like 6 stars on it. 2 of them were MSK.
Really? Interesting.
Next to the bigger, more established talent. So there's a lot of faith in that duo right now. Yeah. So I'm curious if that's the team and maybe the veterans move up, because keep in mind, after WrestleMania, there's always some moving and shaking and some people get called up. So although that would be interesting if MSK is just like, okay, well, you were great for NXT, time to
Yeah, you guys have been here for a couple
Found a
coffees.
job to the Dirty Dogs or whatever the hell they're called.
The Dirty Dogs.
The Ziggler and Robert Roode group, whatever, the old dogs. I don't know what they're called.
Oh God, yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Next one is the North American qualifier match.
The Gauntlet Eliminator or whatever.
Yeah, the Gauntlet Eliminator, which I swear is something AEW does, but hey, whatever. Leon Ruff, former North American champion.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Okay.
You can never say his name without saying Swerve in the middle of it.
No, it's Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Yeah, and you can never say Swerve by itself because that's somehow wrong. Bronson Reed.
I have no idea who you just talked about there.
Yeah, completely unrecognizable without Isaiah Scott around it. Bronson Reed.
You think Bronson Reed's excited for Godzilla versus Kong?
I think he's like, Mom, Dad.
Yeah, I mean, with his intro and everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. No.
Hopefully he's already watched it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I would hope so. Cameron Grimes.
Cameron Grimes. Gauntlet Eliminator, one of the original American Gladiators. That's good. That's good. I like that.
And it's accurate. I'm pretty sure that's true.
Yeah.
Serial killer and yet face character Dexter Lumis.
Who doesn't love it? I mean, women love watching serial killer documentaries and SVU and unsolved mysteries and all that stuff. So it makes sense. I'm surprised he's not world champion.
That's true. And
if they move him up to the main roster, he will be.
The best 90s shoe brand, LA Knight.
But LA Knight's supposed to come out last, isn't he?
Yes, he comes out last.
It's hard to bet against LA Knight when he's out last, man.
I know. And he winner goes on to face Johnny Gargano on the next night of NXT. So,
but they're both heels too, though, right?
They are.
Gargano, obviously, in the way are heels.
Yes.
LA Knight is presented as a heel, so would they do that on night 2 of NXT?
I don't know. Okay, right out the gate, are there any that you immediately were like, nope?
I think Swerve. And you'd be like, oh, you're picking Isaiah Swerve Scott over Leon. I think Leon, they love the underdog thing. So I could see him making it past the first elimination somehow, just because that's what he does. Otherwise, though, like, Bronson's a face, right?
Yes.
But is Bronson and Gargano really going to have a WrestleMania-esque hype?
No. It is weird. I feel like Leon and, I guess Dexter Lumis's face.
So, I mean, I guess it's got to be Dexter.
Right? It's probably Dexter.
I mean,
and really,
LA Knight can maybe get freaked out, or he gets caught cheating, or like he's trying to cheat.
Yeah.
The referee catches him. Dexter capitalizes. Like that's, unless Dexter gets screwed out by Gargano or any of the way interfering, I got to call
the Gargano Dexter stuff at least ties into what they're doing right now. So I
gotta call NXT Heidenreich. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dexter Lumis. Yes.
Lumis Reich.
Lumis Reich.
Dex Reich.
Dex Reich.
Hayden Lumis.
Hayden Lumis.
I like Hayden Lumis. That's my favorite one so far.
I really want to pick Cameron Grimes and then just have him pay for the title. And Gargano's like, yeah, I'll just take money.
That would be something. There would be something. I think Cameron's still technically a heel, but I think it's only a matter of time.
I think so, yeah. No,
before they turn him face. He's too good. And they've really kind of wasted him the last couple of weeks. They're kind of like, oh, maybe we should pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
On him.
Totally.
I mean, whatever really happened with his feud, with the $1 Million Man? Like, maybe he should come close to winning, and then the $1 Million Man comes out.
God, so good.
And then he just, like, leaves the ring because he's got a bone to pick, and then he gets counted out or something.
Yeah, no, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
So you're picking Lumis.
I am.
Okay. And then I will pick – I'm going to pick somebody else. God, I loved Isaiah Scott in Lucha Underground. Like, and that's why I wish he was higher up than he is right now. But just like AEW, the NXT roster is quite large too. I'm going to go with LA Knight. LA Knight took an L to Bronson Reed in his debut. I feel like he needs something to get this character moving forward. So
And you're just going to let the personalities and the wrestling shine the next night, regardless of alignment.
Alignment, yeah, you're just going to have to, I guess. And then
we got Seth Rollins, the architect, streaming us right now.
Yeah.
Says Adam Cole and Kyle will steal the damn show. Well, they better.
Yeah.
The pressure should be on them, and the pressure should be on Finn and Scarlett's guy.
Karrion Kross,
That's the only name I need. Scarlett's guy.
Yeah.
Those two are the main events. Like, if you're not stealing the show, you're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. NXT. I merged NXT and UK. NXT.
I like it though.
NXT UK Championship. Walter coming all the way across the ocean to beat up Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, the belt's on the line, so
belt is on the line.
So at least they're again putting some heat behind that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible that Thatcher does join Imperium as a part of, like, because that's where the storyline started?
That's where it's going, yeah.
Had his eye on Thatcher, and then Ciampa's like, no, I'm the one that turns on my partners.
Right? Yeah, like, no, this is my storyline. I mean, I would love Ciampa to win the NXT UK title. I just don't see it happening.
Gabe agrees with us. He wants Ciampa to win, but got Walter. I think you got to rebuild that Walter here in the States. Yeah. We were building towards Finn and Walter months ago before, of course, or a year ago before the world shut down. So I don't know if you go that route again or not, but you rebuild him here in the States, and this is where it begins.
And I think that's the thing, is that the States don't, for the most part, don't know Walter. So and as much as it sucks for Ciampa to be the guy who he's going to go over on, Walter wins this.
Yeah, but that's all right. I don't think he's going to complain. Like, Ciampa's one of those guys that wants to work with talent. He wants to make him look like $1 million. And if you're going to reestablish Walter as the dominant son of a bitch that he is, Ciampa's the perfect choice.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And he can take the tough hits as well.
Yes, exactly. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And here we go. The main event of night one, Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez.
I think people are going to think I'm crazy for this, but I think Io's retaining.
Do you? I think Raquel's winning.
I don't think Raquel's ready.
I don't think Raquel's ready either. That doesn't mean I don't feel that she's winning.
That's true. That's very true. I think Io holds on to it. Maybe she moves on to Frankie, the Morrison wife. That's debuting, or I don't know, but I don't think Raquel's there yet. Maybe Dakota gets jealous, and Dakota turns on Raquel, costing her the match. Maybe, but I think you just hold on, just let Io hold on to it longer.
Yeah, unless Io's being called up. And yes, it's happened before where you get caught up with your NXT title.
No, I get you. Yeah,
I don't see it happening much anymore.
See, I don't know. Maybe she will. Like, SmackDown maybe needs the help, so maybe they move her over there. They'll probably move her to Raw because that makes no sense. So, Asuka's there. That's fine. Gabe here says that he's a huge fan of Dakota. I want her to have the title, but Raquel will take it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happens and starts the feud between them, possibly. But like, we got numerous comments. I could keep showing all of them, but everybody's calling Raquel to win, which I knew I'm going to be in the minority here. But even just leading up to this, Io cannot get an advantage over Raquel week by week. And I think that right there, unwritten rules of pro wrestling, Io retains.
Yep. No, I agree with what you're saying. I do think Raquel wins. I think it's going to be, you're just going to look at how many title changes we actually get on an event like this. I mean, obviously you're getting a male tag champions because it's vacant. Right. So, and UK, we don't think it's changing hands. So the women's one, I feel like Raquel does this.
I think if there was going to be more fans in attendance, I would probably be a bit more aware of the titles and what's switching and what's not. But I don't think it's as much of a factor when you don't have 30,000 for NXT and then 100,000 for WWE.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And Raquel, I think, we said she's a work in progress. You have these other women in NXT. You have Toni Storm. You have Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
You have these other that I think are more polished
Mm-hmm.
to face Io, but and as you said, Mrs. Morrison's debuting soon, so like that'll be a thing. But I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll see. We don't know what the plans are. Hell, NXT probably doesn't know what the plans are. Not for themselves, but what upstairs is going to want from their talent.
That's true.
We would like 10 of your finest talent, please. It doesn't matter if they're feuding. We want them. They'll be on the same team.
It doesn't matter where they are on the card.
No, just give us your talent and
give us 10.
Just tell us they're best friends, and we'll go with it.
I remember that was when like Mojo Rawley got drafted, and you're like, "What?"
Yeah. Oh yeah, like, draft that should be coming this summer, right?
We're gonna take Mojo Rawley and Alexa Bliss. And you're like, she was a manager at the time. Like, what is happening?
Unless that move worked out.
For sure, absolutely.
Hey, right. Mojo got them talking to Gronk, so I mean, that's all they wanted. They just wanted Gronkowski, and it worked for him briefly.
And it did for like last WrestleMania.
Yeah, for 3 months, and then he went back to winning Super Bowls.
Yeah. Okay. Night 2, NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver. This is probably the Deliver episode.
Good. I don't want to stand 2 nights.
No. You sit down and deliver this one. Keeping the women's wrestling going, NXT Women Tag Team Championship, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart against The Way, Candice LeRae, and Indy Hartwell.
I'm actually torn on this one. Because do we want a third set of tag team champions in a very short history?
No.
But Candice and Indy, I mean, especially Candice, needs something at this point. And The Way is very entertaining, but how entertaining are they going to remain if
none of them
moving up? Like Gargano's cool. He's fine. We don't have to worry about him.
For, at least the next couple minutes until we predict something else.
Yeah, and I do like that Shotzi and Ember have really kind of become a team.
Yeah.
With their entrances together, they color coordinate. Like, I like that they do all those little things, but I don't know. I'm actually going to call the heels. I'm going to call The Way to win the belts.
Right?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to call Moon Blackheart to retain for this one. I would love to see The Way win, but I don't know that we need 3 champs in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then that's the one thing I'm like hesitant about but if they're willing to switch in the first night, then who cares,
That's true. Yeah,
who cares? Like,
all bets are off now.
It's kind of like AEW's problem that they have a lot of talent. You can't move everybody up.
It's true.
But so you got to keep some people happy, and so they're like, you know what? Unlike AEW, we're just going to go ahead and just keep tossing these titles around.
It's the hot potato title.
Yeah, this is a good one. I like this one. Moon and Blackheart retain because Dexter will come for Indy.
Especially if Gargano or Hartwell cost him the match in night 1.
Right.
And she's infatuated with Dexter. He comes out, she leaves. Candice is on her own. I feel like if that happens, though, The Way is, splitting, and then we have the whole thing about Gargano and Candice LeRae are actually The Way, and they get to decide who's in The Way. And
sure, but I don't know. Like, is it too soon? Much like the Hurt Business, it's like why break that up? But I got to give Indy Hartwell so much credit for every little thing that she has done during this situation. Like when they were in therapy, and Candice is talking. I think it was about choking.
Yeah,
about, like Dexter's like, who would actually like Dexter likes choking? Who actually likes that? And Indy's like, just like, doesn't say anything.
No.
She has all this nonverbal communication, this whole feud, and like she's kind of like the unspoken MVP of the storyline.
No, yeah, absolutely.
So I want to see her win a belt just for that reason.
All right, keeping going with The Way. North American title, Gargano versus whoever you chose as the winner of the Gauntlet Eliminator Qualifier Battle Royal Extravaganza.
I think Gargano wins this. I don't know if it even matters who wins the night before.
Yeah.
Maybe, that person's really beat up from their match the night before. Can't believe how good of a showing he has right now. And, they give us the same announcer BS that WWE always gives us. But,
yeah,
if it's a new champion, cool, but it's got to make sense.
The only way.
Oh.
Hey.
I don't think I'm out to fastballs the way.
It should. No, I think that I would love to see LeRae and Hartwell have belts and then Gargano have a belt.
Mm-hmm.
But
and
I
then
feel
Austin
like,
Theory.
Yeah. I feel like
they'll give him a replica belt.
Now I want this to happen. Just so he gets the
a participation ribbon is what he brings out to the ring.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so good now.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope NXT takes that from us. Like
Seth Rollins, if you're still watching, go ahead and relay that to the powers that be.
Yeah, let them know that Austin should get his own.
You can have that. We don't expect anything. Take it.
Little Mattel title. So good. But I think you're right. I think Gargano pretty much wins this because if not, what the hell is Gargano doing?
Unless he's moving up, but
it
kind of sounds like him and a lot of his fellow main eventers, so to speak, in NXT. None of them really want to move up.
Yeah, none of them really. I don't know how much choice you get in the matter, but I feel like, they
don't really want to. Now, the real question, and I'm surprised you haven't asked this question yet, Ballz. What superhero is he going to come out dressed as?
It's true. Which I don't know.
He's done Star Wars too, so obviously he loves the Disney stuff. But it seems like it's a big match, so he likes the Marvel heroes.
But he's a heel, so I feel like he would be more likely. Although he was X-Man last time, and X-Man was obviously an X-Men.
But this is WrestleMania, so I feel like he's gonna have to step it up. But does he do Vision? Does he do a male Scarlet Witch? It seems like he's gonna want to be topical, He could do Falcon and Winter Soldier. Maybe he's got a silver arm,
a metal arm. Yeah. Oh my God, Gargano's using the metal arm.
Maybe. I don't know. Could he jump over to Justice League since that is so talked about right now? Yeah. Could he do Dark Side or the Flash has been done a lot of times. I don't know. Yeah. That's what I'm curious about. By the way, apparently Gabe's got multiple accounts. He says he went to Seth to see if I would remember. I think basically that's his burner account. That's where he trolls people. He's like, I'm Seth Rollins, you suck. You suck. Yeah.
That's what I would do anyway.
That's what I'm thinking. Official predictions. Who's the superhero?
I think if it's a superhero, X-Men was such a 90s cut. That was so good. Hold on. He hasn't done a Deadpool, but I feel like that's not as topical right now.
X-Men's never topical, so...
That's accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say he's going to give us Scarlet Witch. A male Scarlet Witch. That's what I'm thinking. Scarlet Warlock.
I feel like whatever it is, has a good vest or jacket combo.
Yeah.
Apocalypse. Just go straight up Apocalypse.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy right there. I like it. I like it, though.
I hope he has
Candice be matching him.
I would hope so.
If that's the case, then she's going to be female Vision.
That's true. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yep. I'm calling it.
There you go. Ladder match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Both current Cruiserweight champions.
Did they already do that in Impact?
And, pretty much every company at some point has said that.
Yeah.
We have Devlin against Santos Escobar.
I wonder if they feel like these guys are pros. I have no doubt that the quality is going to be there anyway. But for them to have Michaels come out, make the stipulation or suggest the stipulation for the ladder match, following the footsteps of HBK and Razor Ramon, is that a good attachment to nostalgia, or does that add a pressure that maybe it didn't need?
I think it's a good pressure. I think it's the right hint of nostalgia. Whereas I don't think you're going to get a ton of comparisons. I think having Michaels come out and put the ladder in the ring, he was definitely the right guy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of Regal coming out and going, this is going to be a ladder match. You're like, you have that cool moment of Michaels, who a lot of people forget or may not even know that he works as a producer,
right,
and a head of NXT. Why is Michaels there? He's always there, but
he just likes to hang out.
Yeah, he just hangs there, just praying to God his hair grows back. That's all he's doing. So what do you think? Jordan Devlin, Santos Escobar. Who is the true cruiserweight champion?
I'm torn on this one. I want to call Devlin, but it seems like they really like Escobar.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him being moved up sooner than later as well. I'm still going to go with my gut and say Devlin on this one, just because he was the champion before the world changed.
Yes.
They had plans, and maybe now they can get back on track.
And so I have two things. One, how insane would it be to call Santos Escobar up right after Andrade leaves? And you're like, hey, we have this great idea for a Hispanic wrestler now.
Yeah. We're going to partner you with Angel Garza.
You're going to work closely with Charlotte Flair. What?
And so, she was Rosita? Zelina when she was in TNA?
Yes.
So who was the other? Rosita and...
crap.
But we just bring her in to be the manager. That's where I'm going with that.
She worked... I think before the pandemic, she worked backstage at NXT.
Well, there you go. You bring her back.
Yeah. Oh, God, what was
Sarita.
Sarita. Yes, Sarita.
You let Sarita manage Angel Garza and Phantasma El Chuck E. Cheese, or whatever his name is. I don't know.
Phantasma El Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I agree with you, though. I think Jordan Devlin gets it, and we finally get to see whatever.
Beat you to it.
Yeah. More importantly, did you really beat him to it, or did you just wait to post it on the screen?
I did beat him to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could remind me what her name is, that'd be fantastic.
Sarita?
I feel like it's Sarah something. Sarah Stock?
Yeah, Sarah Stock.
Okay. But I believe she was let go during the pandemic, but I could be completely wrong on that. No, I think we finally get a chance to see what Devlin was going to do with the Cruiserweight title. And Santos Escobar can figure out and probably move up the ranks towards the North American Championship. Obviously, he's a great contender for that, and stuff like that. All right. 2 main events for NXT Stand and Deliver night. Unsanctioned match. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly. By the way, going back to Cameron Grimes for a second, did you see the stuff where he's trying to buy the intellectual property of the Undisputed Era from Roderick Strong?
I did. I did see that after the fact. Cameron Grimes is so good.
So good. Causing Roderick Strong to be like, F it, I'm out. He just leaves.
Yeah, I was pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great match. It's going to be brutal. These guys are good friends, and we know that good friends wrestling are competing against one another. Go a little bit harder than if they don't know the opponent as well. But
you always hit your friends harder. Yep.
I guess I'm a little, I don't know, disappointed that they didn't even try to get a regular match in, and then it blew up. It got too crazy, and that's when they made unsanctioned.
Well, I think they made it unsanctioned because O'Reilly's technically hurt. So it has to be unsanctioned for there to be a match. Okay,
that makes sense. Yeah. Now, do you think Bobby Fish plays a role in this?
No. I feel like if you got rid of Roderick Strong to get rid of the storyline wise, got rid of Roderick Strong out of the equation, they're not going to bring in Bobby Fish as a as a foil or as someone. So I feel
not yet, anyway.
Not yet. No, if this continues past this match, then yeah, Bobby Fish is going to show up at some point.
Yeah, people have been waiting for these two to go at it any way possible, and I don't think you ruin that or distract from that by bringing in another person already.
No.
I think you let them have this match.
Yep. No, I agree totally.
This
Let them go.
Match.
This is not really match. Yeah.
And I think this time around, Kyle gets the win. I mean, I think you get that feel good moment of, Adam Cole got his comeuppance. Yeah. Doesn't mean this storyline is over by any stretch of the imagination. But I think you need that I guess closure just in case there are moves and changes coming with personnel soon.
Yep. And I feel like if there are changes, and we could almost talk about this after the next match, I feel like O'Reilly wins just in case. I agree with everything you said about him getting comeuppance. It's the feel-good victory. Mm-hmm. Kyle O'Reilly has had great matches against Finn Balor. It makes sense for him to come out on top of this.
It's a great card, but there's not a lot of heat in most of the matches. And I'm not saying the matches don't have consequences, but this is where the heart is right now.
Yeah.
This is the heat. And so you need that win. You need that moment. Even if Finn would somehow retain in the main event, it's still not as personal as this one is.
No, yeah, this is the most personal match on both nights, easily.
Yeah, so I agree with you there. He's persistent. He thinks that interference is going to happen, but I don't know.
I mean, if it happens, it wouldn't shock me. I hope they don't go that route because it's so personal.
Right. I agree. I think you should let them have this personal match, this fight, and then you can worry about the rest of the group.
Yep. All right. NXT World Championship, Finn Balor, Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross, former champion, got hurt, had to relinquish. Balor picked up the strap, ran with it.
I don't know. I don't think Karrion Kross and Scarlett are going to be lasting in NXT too much longer.
I don't either. And while I'd like to see him win. I mean, even though I'm a huge Finn fan, I feel like, Karrion getting the Finn fan.
I'm a Finn fan.
I'm never going to do that again. Please. Oh man. No, I think Balor wins. I agree with you. I think Karrion has a great match. Shows that he can go, because he didn't really get to show that against Keith Lee, and he obviously never got to defend his title. So he gets to have the match he should have had before.
Yeah.
And then him and Scarlett get moved up.
I mean, even let's say Karrion Kross does win.
Okay.
And he's got his second title. Who does he go against right now? Because, I mean, Finn could probably get a rematch, but if Finn doesn't regain that belt, is Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole even done by then?
I don't know. Because
I don't think that would be the case.
What was that?
You have the rest of the Undisputed Era. You have at least Roderick Strong. I mean, so there, and even then, is Kyle O'Reilly on deck to be the next top face of NXT right now?
Yeah, and that's where I'm trying to look at the card and go, who else? Obviously, Loomis isn't there.
Right.
Bronson, any of those guys are not top face material yet.
Unless you get a Ciampa.
Yeah.
That is now your UK champion. Maybe. Yeah. But before all this went down, before airports closed up, NXT wanted Finn Balor and Walter.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm calling Finn Balor to retain.
Yeah.
He remains the top face in that brand, or whatever he's needed to be in that feud.
Yep.
And then Walter and him eventually finally clash, and Karrion and Scarlett probably get called up.
Yep. No, I would agree with that. Do Walter and Finn both have to be champion for that to work?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But I think if that's just the way it works out, that's the way it works out. Especially if you're opening borders again and these stars are able to start moving, you kind of want to do that push of, hey, this is what you're missing on NXT UK.
That's true.
So I would go for that. I don't know, maybe both belts are on the line, maybe only one belt. But even then, if Walter wins both, cool. If Finn wins both, not like you can't travel overseas and work the crowds over there. So
exactly.
Yeah, so I think Finn's going to retain, and I think that's going to shock a lot of people.
As do I.
Yeah, but like you said, like looking back on things, I don't have a lot of title changes on this 2 days of show, but as long as the matches are good, I don't care.
I guess I want that moment, but I don't want too many of that. Like, I don't want too many moments.
Mm-hmm.
But like, at least 2 of these matches, you're guaranteed.
Right.
A tag match and the cruiserweight, you're guaranteed just a true cruiserweight champion. So
at least you get one every night.
Exactly.
Which is nice. And also NXT shows restraint a bit better than the main roster does. So they may be like, well, we'll let WWE do whatever the hell they want to do in a couple days. Raw and SmackDown, it's fine.
Yeah. Welcome to WrestleMania, where every title changes hands.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
We're here, we're like, yeah.
Okay. We mentioned it obviously a little bit about people getting called up. I think both you and I agree Karrion Kross and Scarlett are almost locks. Adam Cole has a huge chance. Who would be your underdog chance of getting called up? Who's your Mojo Rawley of this year?
The underdog who's going to move up and not do anything, or the one that I really hope can do something?
Let's go with the second one.
Okay. All right.
Someone who's not right in the forefront, but you'd hope would be great up there.
LA Knight.
You're not wrong.
So quickly. He just debuted. He just made it to NXT. What? Because he's good on the mic. He's got a good look and snatch him up.
He can go. It's not like he has to prove anything in NXT. Plus, he had a bright blue jacket. If that doesn't scream "put me on SmackDown," I have no idea what does.
He cuts promos like a generic version of The Rock. So,
and we already have The Miz on Raw. So
yeah. So I would call LA Knight to be the guy that could be unexpected just because it's so quick.
Yeah.
If not, then I don't know, Escobar maybe.
I'd love to see Pete Dunne on the main roster. I just don't know. They would screw that up somehow.
Oh God, yeah. He would have to be on SmackDown, where Daniel Bryan, as a creative team consultant, could work with him.
Yep.
Because if he's on Raw, then hello, Retribution.
Exactly.
2.0, of course.
2.0, yeah.
Second one's always better than the first one. Actually, it'd be hard to screw that up and make it worse than the first Retribution.
This one's just all British.
How would you say that? Retribution?
Britribution.
Britribution. Ooh, I like that.
Britribution.
I like that a lot. We will have predictions as we get closer to next week. We know we're a little early for the predictions, but this is when we do the show. Yeah. Next week, we don't know when we are doing this stream. We are still hoping it's going to happen, but Ball's got some travel to do. I got vacation and weird schedules, but we're going to try to make it work because it's WrestleMania. We need to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Even if we're not that hyped, we still have to talk about it.
We're going to fake it for you.
Yeah, we always do.